Perfect. Welcome back to the program. My name is Victor Lowe. All right, so this is it, 9th day of February 2026. If you've just joined us, this is Good Morning Kenya on KBC Channel 1. My name is Victor Olo. Today being a Monday is Eye on Politics. We want to talk everything politics, the much we can, and everything in between. Okay, so my guests are already in studio. I want to talk about the game plan ahead of 2027 because now the political drumbeats are really hitting so hard, and you know the horns, the flute and everything. The political music is very loud as we speak. Innocent Musumbi is a political analyst. He's also an economist by profession. He's also an economist by profession, yes, and he's joining us on set. Duke Mainga, political analyst. He's also the chairman of the Commodities Fund. I'll bring them on set very shortly. But how about I take you through the front page of the local dailies? Let me start with the Standard. The Standard says that season of baits. That's on the front page of the Standard. Season of baits. Okay, there you go. Season of baits. And the gentleman on the front page is the President of the Republic of Kenya, President William Ruto. The Standard says that as the clock ticks towards the 2027 elections, President William Ruto is now struggling to change his image of a miser who, for the last 3 years, launched policies that impoverished the people through heavy and unnecessary taxes that have killed businesses, increasing poverty and employment in the country. From a head of state whose speeches demanded a pound of flesh from the weakening and frail frames of Kenyans, to now pledges of tax exemptions for lower cadre salaried workers, and talk around the Nyota program, which pundits dismiss as too little too late. That is on the front page of the Standard. We have got now where the president is, seed of the debates. That's on the front page of the Standard. The inner pages, the president's tokenism targets payslip holders in populist ploy. Related to the front page, there's a proposal to have individuals paying less than 30,000 exempt from taxes. Okay, that is on the second page here. The president announced that all Kenyans earning between 30,000 shillings and below will be exempted from pay as you earn. And these stance may bring relief to some Kenyans, but there are political nuances in his pronouncements. Okay. Opposition leaders strike back as at Ruto's quote-unquote no agenda barb. Says that they have no agenda, they are leaderless. Is it, or are they? The next story here is about Sifuna-backed faction in ODM attacks Oburu over UDA ties. You remember, Siaya Governor James Orengo yesterday said that there is no way they are going to join UDA, but the president of this side says, we are on track and we are going to work together. So which way ODM? The question is 2027 game plan. That is what I have here. Okay. On the second paper here, let me go to the Daily Nation. Who cares? That's a big Q. Who cares? That's on the front page of the Daily Nation. Who cares? Okay, it's about, is it that Kenyans have resigned themselves to fate, no longer care, or that grand corruption has simply become a way of life, given the multitude and the muted reaction to multi-billion shillings graft exposes? While greedy officials continue looting public coffers, Kenyans bear the brunt of failing public systems, hospitals turning away desperate patients who cannot afford medical bills, overcrowded schools, running on empty, and agriculture produce rotting on farms due to dilapidated roads. In the past week, the sheer wastage at county level was on display, with the governors pressed by senators over outrageous expenditures such as splashing millions on Christmas tree. I think that was in Bungoma when he appeared before the Senate, on Christmas trees and housewarming parties, and diverting such funds set aside for small businesses to finance political rallies. When will the merchants of corruption finally face justice and spare Kenyans already burdened by the high taxes? The big question on the front page of the Daily Nation. Okay. The body mandated to do that is EACC. Last one is hustle economy, struggling under shrinking economies. Rather incomes, beg your pardon, that is. Hustle economy, struggling under shrinking incomes. All right. On paper, economy appears steady on the streets. The story is different on ground. That's what's basically here. On paper, economy appears steady on the streets. The story is quite different. Again, Orengo Sifuna faction rejects ODM deal with Ruto, UDA, and this is it. I think MPs are resuming this week, and there must be a lot for them as the now sittings resume after long December break. They were on recess. Okay, so let me start with the front page of the Star newspaper here. Innocent, good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
The story on the Star newspaper, probably we can just take it first of all. As an economist, what do you make of this? On paper, economy appears steady, but kwa ground na kwa streets, vitu tofauti sana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. When you listen to the macroeconomics, the statistics we are getting from the government, especially on, our GDP is meant to grow at 5%.
Yeah.
The inflation rate has gone down from 9.8% in 2022 to 4.8% last year. Our foreign exchange reserves have grown almost 3 times. So this is not what the Mwananchi down on the ground is feeling. So we need to understand why is this not happening.
Yeah.
And when you see headlines showing that the government to bridge the budget deficit that we are having of around 1 trillion, the government is planning to borrow internally, domestically. Yeah. That means it will be very hard for the SMEs to borrow from our banks because they have already lent to the government, and therefore that is where the problem is. The cost of borrowing is high, and that means our MSMEs are not growing. It means that the level of unemployment will still go high, and our pockets, the Kenyan pockets, will not have enough money to spend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point to start. When it starts to money matters and economy, it's a good way to start. Duke, let's come back to the real deal. I don't know whether you want to talk about that. On paper, things looks okay.
Yeah.
Yes. We are feeling the pain.
There's always been a feeling that when things seem to be doing well in this country, just a small fraction of Kenyans, tend to feel the change, but a majority are undergoing, difficult times back in Mashinani. The question should be, or the question we should ask ourselves is, when the economy is getting better each and every day, where is all this money going to? Who is getting the money? Is it a larger percentage of Kenyans or the few individuals? Because we've been seeing quite, a number of people. You see it on the paper today, I don't know whether it was the Standard or which paper was that, where there have been too many cases of corruption, too many cases, a lot of money, billions of money, getting lost. But I will blame this on the judiciary, because then where do these cases normally disappear to? When people make billions of money, 18, 20, in terms of, tens of billions. So let's ask ourselves a question. The economy is getting better, but who's feeling the impact? Is this money trickling down to Mwananchi, or is it just disappearing hapa katikati on a few individuals within the country?
Okay,
yes,
great. So the question is, who cares? I think that's based on the Daily Nation, what you just asked. Who cares? It sounds like a norm, but look at it. Kenya is a country of plenty. We basically can actually do a lot with that if somebody really cared. So, season of baits. What is the game plan? That is the big question here. What is the game plan? Gentlemen, we've seen there's so much movement in the country. The political pronouncements, who is saying what and all that. I want us to listen to the story of what really happened yesterday in Busia. There's another faction where the Sifuna-led faction were in Busia, and they talked a lot. And even the president also said that ODM is not, Azimi is not ODM without ODM. There's a reason as to that is happening. And we'll talk about that. So probably we can take a look at that story before we get into the discussion.
From Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, the voices in the Orange Democratic Movement continue to sound steady in their distinctiveness. The party's Secretary General Edwin Sifuna says they will stand their ground and resist the push by party leader Oburu Oginga to close ranks with UDA ahead of next year's polls.
Na tunapouliza maswali wanasema ati sisi ni waasi. Lazima tuulize maswali, si ndio? Chama cha Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, hakuna mtu atauza chama cha ODM.
The faction comprising Sifuna, ODM Deputy Party Leader Godfrey Osotsi, Siaya Governor James Orengo, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, and his Saboti counterpart Caleb Amisi, among other firebrand leaders, maintained that the decision of ODM to strike a pre-election pact with any other political party must only come from the party membership through a national delegates conference.
Wanatuambia kwamba tituende kwa ndoa na UDA. Nyinyi mnataka kwenda ndoa na UDA?
Chochote ambayo chama cha ODM itafanya itatoka hapa kwa wananchi.
The group on Saturday kickstarted an initiative dubbed Linda Mwananchi, making stopovers in Ugunja and Sega in Siaya County before holding a public rally in Busia town, where they reiterated their call for the full implementation of the 10-point agenda, including compensation of victims of police brutality during the past protests.
Mimi nataka niape mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu na mbele yenu kama wadosi wangu, mahali nimeshikilia sibanduki, kwa sababu baba hakulea watu waoga.
2027 we will have a revolution. We will have a revolution. A revolution of ideas. A revolution of courage. A revolution of youthful people.
This is in contrast with the directive by the National Party Chair Gladys Wanga requiring all party activities to be sanctioned through party structures with the blessings of the party leader Oburu Oginga. Meanwhile, university and college student leaders from Mombasa and Kilifi counties have declared their firm support for the Orange Democratic Movement leadership and the broad-based government arrangement between President William Ruto and ODM.
I've watched with great concerns attempts within and outside the ODM party to undermine the party organs and structures and leadership. These attempts are out of ill will, bad faith, and meant to ensure that the ODM party scrambles. We equally know this is being sponsored by the enemies of our late leader Raila Amolo Odinga. We are watching you.
If you are very keen, bila wivu, bila siasa mingi, if you look at Kenya today, you will realize the truth is the President Dr. William Samoei Ruto is working. Check the infrastructure of Kenya today, the improvements that William Samoei Ruto has made.
The ODM Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and his allies maintain.
The game plan, Duke. From Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, what do you make of this?
Survival for the fittest. You know, politicians, we have a way of looking for relevance. What is happening today, the Sifuna-led team is definitely trying to look for a way in order to remain relevant. And the first thing you must do in politics is to appear like you're fighting government, because the mentality of Mwananchi is that any minute you call government a thief, any minute you call government bad, automatically you tend to get some support from the people. So that is what these guys are doing. And remember, before the departure of Raila Amolo Odinga, the likes of Babu Owino had issues with Baba and the party. So now they have the opportunity now to come out and create a platform where they're going to vent and release their their troubles and the challenge that they might have been facing.
Yes.
I'll also look at a gentleman like the Siaya governor, yes. Orengo. Orengo, I'm reliably informed that back in his county, he's not done so much, for the people. He might be very, very good with litigation. He might be very, very good with corporate governance and the like. But development for the people down on the ground, there seems to be quite a number of issues. And they have to find a way to, to put this blame on someone.
Yeah.
So basically they're trying to fight for their position, and in a few days from now you start seeing them trying to negotiate either with the existing government or the opposition in order to get a share of the cake.
Okay, let's welcome Daniel Jumo Monde. He's the Africa Regional Representative for Global Peace Foundation. Is it safe to say Happy New Year? We've never
Yeah, it's safe to say Happy New Year.
Safe,
we haven't met this year.
Good to see you.
I was here the other day
with
Mike, but it's good to be here again. It's an interesting time. The political heat is already catching up.
Karibu.
Yes.
Karibu.
Yes.
Again, now that your mic is on, you've seen what's happening. The game plan. You come from Siaya County.
Yes, I come from Siaya.
Saying the truth or anaongeza salt hapa kidogo.
Yeah, I come from Siaya, and I think there's some level of truth in what he says. Governor Rengo is my friend, but unfortunately, the level of development we see in Siaya County, it is not, it's not what we expect, especially with devolution, especially the third decade of devolution. I get disappointed when I see my governor, already getting, cozy in national politics. Yet there's so much to be done at home. Many of these governors are busy. They're busy trying to make things work because we have at least a year plus, to the next election. So it is very sad that that he started to focus on this kind of theatrics that we're seeing. Of course, he's very good at it, but also I agree with him that ODM as it is today, given what happened yesterday, it's basically divided, already divided.
Is it divided
or
a political game?
It's either or both.
It's
either or both, and I also agree with him that the likes of Sifuna, the so-called rebels within the party, are looking for a way to negotiate, either with the Gachagua team or with the government team. And right now, as you see, yesterday I followed the Busia rally, and I could see the likes of Fanyamambo Kinuthia, who basically said that he's there to represent his boss, Gachagua. And he was saying that you shout one term so that his boss could hear. So you can see clearly, yesterday, even the sloganeering was basically one term, one term. You have to be keen to be able to see, who are the people behind yesterday. And also yesterday's event was heavily funded. Look at the vehicles that were there. Everything was, heavily funded. So there is somebody behind that is actually, interested to see that ODM is divided, because as you know, and if Raila was alive, this would not be happening. Most likely this would not be happening, because Raila basically had entered this agreement, or so-called agreement with the UDA. And in his mind, of course, people would say that Raila would think many things, but the fact that he actually was with the president shows you where he was comfortable to be. But of course, there are people who are saying, oh, he said this, or who told you, and all that. But right now, Raila is dead. You can never know what was in his mind.
Okay, I want to ask you this question. Could it be that when Raila was still there, he had his own game plan?
Yes.
But right now he's not there. The lieutenants became a little impatient and released the cat out of the bag too soon. What you're seeing?
Yes.
Could it be that probably that was the plan ahead of 2027?
I mean, it could be, because again, Raila would tell you one thing and maybe do the other. I get my point. And Raila was a friend to so many people. He was a friend to so many people. He's a friend to the common man and was a friend to the mighty. So sometimes it's difficult to know what was really in his mind, what he really wanted to achieve. But then that was Raila. That was the mystery surrounding the man. And whatever is going on today is also as a result of the mystery, of Raila Odinga, because if you look at Luo politics, for example, and one of the reasons why Owalo right now is running, because Owalo was very comfortable within the administration, and when Raila's team joined the administration, they become, of course, very influential within the administration. And that made those who stood with the president, like Owalo, very uncomfortable. And you see, he was removed from his cabinet post and was given another role. I don't know whether he was happy within that role, but you can see him leaving could be either it is planned or it could be in protest. You get my point?
Yeah.
So this is Raila, because Raila, and one of the things people blame Raila because they say that if he focused on the opposition, maybe he would have he won even the last election. But the fact that he kept on coming to handshake with government, that also made him lose some credibility. And so that is him. And what is happening basically was bound to happen because he wanted to be in the government at the same time wants to be in the opposition.
Before you take a break, Innocent, it is from Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, the factions. Okay, gentlemen, you all know there is nothing accidental in politics. Everything must be planned, and there is a blueprint to everything that's happening right now. What do you make of this? Linda Ground, now to Linda Mwananchi, what is the messaging?
Yeah, the messaging is clear, and the background of all this is that after the demise of Raila Amolo Odinga, we expected all this sense of cacophony, all this kind of sibling rivalry. We expected to see that. And what Sifuna and team, what we saw in Busia, it's a message, and it is coming immediately after the changes we saw in the Azimio coalition, where we saw Kalonzo Musyoka being elevated to, replace Raila Amolo Odinga as the head of Azimio, and of course kicking out Junet Mohammed to replace him with Karoli Omondi. And it is clear to any person with a keen eye on Kenya's politics, you can understand who is behind it and what is coming out clearly. And why Sifuna...
Who is behind it?
I think it's in the public domain. We know Uhuru Kenyatta is all behind this. And
behind what?
Yeah, behind the orchestration of Azimio, behind... Junet Mohammed told us in broad daylight that Sifuna and team are auctioning ODM to Uhuru Kenyatta, and Uhuru Kenyatta is bankrolling, and as Omondi has clearly stated here, the rally yesterday was very well financed. It was running on good oil, so we can see the restructuring of Azimio and Uhuru Kenyatta trying to put up a serious team in opposition under the banner of Azimio. Of course, he's having the hangovers of 2022, and he must be raring for a fight with the incumbent president, at least to defend his legacy, because you have seen Uhuru Kenyatta and his people trying to say that Raila Ruto, William, the president, is trying to vitiate his legacy, through the killing of Linda Mama to the Shah that we are having today. So Uhuru Kenyatta has all the reasons to support that. And again, looking at Sifuna and Babu Owino and the architecture of the city politics, where I'm made to understand that Babu Owino wants to go for the gubernatorial position in Nairobi. Sifuna, of course, wants to get re-elected as a senator. In Nairobi politics, without Baba, Sifuna and Babu Owino will have to reinvent themselves. And that is why they have to look at Kalonzo. Will Kalonzo be able to deliver his Kamba block in Nairobi? Will Gachagua be able to deliver his Kikuyu block to them? So that is the kind of machinations that it's all about self-interest. And as Duke has had said, they are trying also to reinvent themselves, to make themselves strategic in the current dispensation. And therefore, we are yet to see a lot of realignment. But the clear thing is that Sifuna and his team, they are not about to support the broad-based government because their political arithmetic will not be able to
Who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? Do you think the president is giving a clean paper to write on when it comes to the coalition agreement between UD and ODM? Duke?
You know, many people don't know who President William Samoei.
Oh, okay. I'm talking President to break. I also need to have my cup of coffee. All of you are
okay.
I don't have. Okay. How about to do that?
Okay.
Right back with that. Okay, stay with us. So I also have my cup of coffee. We are now good to go. Sour. So Duke, you said you wanted to say something?
Yes.
Before we took a break, go ahead.
I wanted to say this, that, you know, Kenyan politics is mainly driven by perception. When the likes of Gladys Wanga and Simbarati came with Linda Ground, the perception was these people are sweeping the country. You would see the kind of merchandise and the kind of, you know, mobilization that was being done in Kisii, in Eldoret, in Kakamega, and all these other places where these politicians went to. So what do you do quickly as a politician who has a future who isn't ambitious like Babu Owino and Sifuna? You change the narrative from Linda Ground to Linda Mwananchi, because at the end of the day, Mwananchi is the ground. So you change it very fast, and then you change the message, and you start talking about now Mwananchi Munaibiwa, and you paint the other side or the other faction that they've been bought by government. The moment you make Mwananchi or make the mindset of Mwananchi start viewing the other side as being bought, definitely you get a stepping. So that is what clearly these gentlemen are doing, and they're doing it perfectly. I don't want to mind, you know, who is behind, who is bankrolling them, because all of us know the financial background of all these people, Sifuna and Babu Owino and the like. I want to agree with what Omondi said here, that probably they might not have that kind of muscles. Now, let's see what is going to happen after yesterday's meeting in Busia. If they're going to manage to do 2, 3, 4, 5 of such events, then know that definitely there's someone, you know, behind this kind of arrangement. But at the end of the day, perception wins. And as we move closer to 2027, politicians are going to invest more on what Mwananchi sees. Because there's a Mwananchi who is in Nairobi who doesn't go to the ground, who depends on what, you know, social media and mainstream media feeds this person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we looking at a situation where now there is going to be, the division we are seeing in ODM is deliberate. So you scatter, and then at some point you'll gather them. So we have the split, we have got these two factions.
But who's going to gather them? Baba is gone. It's only Baba who used to bring. These people would fight, they go to whatever direction, and then at the end of the day, Baba would call them together. But they only respected Baba.
But, okay, but then you look at the faction, they have a party leader right now who is Daktari.
They don't respect him.
But then when it comes to creating that faction and the perception you're talking about right now, at some point they're going to coalesce again, come back home and say, you know what? This is the same house, we've agreed.
That will not happen.
That's what happens. How is it going to happen? And to whose advantage? Mundi.
Yesterday I had a morning walk with my neighbor, Dorong Wen, who is the executive director of ODM. And we discussed this, and he told me eventually, you know, the party, it shows that the party is democratic and that the party will eventually come, you know, back together. And just like me, he was waiting to see what's going to happen in Busia. But we have to be real. You know, our politics is basically what it is. And right now, you know, and especially after the broad-based, you know, government and also the friendship of Raila Odinga and the president, we must give it to the president that he made inroads already into several of Raila's strongholds, and especially Luo Nyanza today. Yesterday, I don't know whether you say Ugunja. Ugunja, when Orengo was there in Ugunja, you could hear root and one term, two terms. So right now, the way it is, and thanks to the PS, Raymond Omolo, who has been doing a lot of groundwork, you know, the President Ruto already has direct influence within Luo Nyanza. And so what the ODM basically, especially the factions are doing, is trying to salvage that, because you can see the ODM is saying that they would want Ruto to deal with them, you know, to reach the people through them. But President Ruto, being who he is, and maybe you saw the other day in State House, the number of aspirants, you know, who came to State House, more than 3,000. These are
actually there were 12,000.
12,000, yes, and paid. You know, and you can see they already, the machinery is already built.
And that is the perception
yes.
that I was talking about.
Yeah, so he's already built the machinery.
Which perception?
That is the man to beat.
Yes, there is the man to beat. And in the country, majority of Kenyans, they are with...
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay. And so also with the perception that he is the incumbent. And historically, it is never easy. Actually, no incumbent has lost power. You know my point? The nearest, the closest we had to an incumbent losing power was 2007, and you saw what that led to. You know my point? And so many people are seeing that if this president was able to defeat Azimio when Uhuru was the president, and he had all the machinery of power, and he was able to beat them, how on earth are you going to do it when he is the one controlling the machinery, security apparatus? So that is the reality. So what is happening in ODM is basically a reaction to basically the influence the president already has. He's already way ahead. Right now, the opposition still, they don't know who's going to be there. Yesterday, you could see in Busia, they're saying that their president is one of us. You never know. They're not saying, is it Orengo, Sifuna, Babu? Nobody's saying. You know, point. So at this time, if you don't have a presidential candidate, and already these guys are ahead.
You need to watch a movie by Samuel L. Jackson, The Unthinkable.
Okay.
You need to watch that.
Yeah, and Victor, as we go on, it's important for Kenyans to understand that our politics have gone to a very different level. As from 2022, we are in a very, very different slate of politics. Because the politics of rhetoric that I saw Sifuna and Babu Owino doing at Busia, they are politics of the yo. And possibly the last person who will go with those politics is Raila Amolo Odinga. Politics of agitation, politics of liberalization. You see, after the second liberation and after the delivery of the 2010 Constitution, all what we need in Kenya now is economic liberation. And therefore, what we should be seeing from leaders who are moving forward and who are visionary is for them to give us the vision. Let those ODM renegades tell us what is their plan for the future of Kenya, not just rhetoric of nani ameiba. Tell us nani ameiba na tutamfanyia nini, because this is, you know, kind of unfortunate mobilization. And you see, for young leaders, we need to see a very different type of politics, not the politics of 1963. We need to see people who are giving, and that is what, when the president talks of, we need first to see your track record. We need to see the leaders who are talking of getting the realms of power in 2027. Let them show us what they have done for the years they have been in power. Then let them project what vision they have for the country. Take, for example, someone like Ndindi Nyoro is saying we don't need to wait for 2027 to change our education system, to fund our education system. He's already given alternatives. You see, the United Opposition now, I heard Kalonzo Musyoka saying that they have changed their name from United Opposition to United Alternative Government. Where are the alternatives? So as we move to 2027, let us have palpable issues. People who are discussing issues, not rhetoric of nani alifanya hivi. We don't need those things. Let us have solutions going forward.
Okay. What do you make of this?
Can I just add on what you're saying?
Go ahead.
There is where President William Ruto beats all these guys hands down. Because if you listen to William Ruto speaking, anytime he comes to the public, he normally talks about issues. He normally talks about what he's doing. You know, I saw the other day he went to Talanta Stadium and he was doing a video. Some people are laughing, but let me tell you what that means to Mwananchi. You compare with what happened in Busia the other day. When Edwin Sifuna stood, when he took the podium, the first thing he said is, hapa ni wapi? Si tumefika Busia. So walikuwa wanakataa hatuwezi fika hapa. You know, that doesn't mean to mwananchi. You ni kuonyesha tu kiburi eti, you know, you have the power, you have the mighty. But if you stand and tell the people that we have issues with the education system, this is how we are going to fix it. We have issues with our infrastructure, this is how we are going to fix it. If we don't go that direction, then trust me, it will be very, very difficult to manage the politics of William Samoei Ruto.
Yeah. And we have issues with corruption. The governors are stealing money. And Sifuna is in the Senate, you know, and they are supposed to be checking the governors. You know, yesterday he was there with the Shire governor. I mean, they should be telling people what are we doing about corruption?
Correct.
Because corruption is the biggest problem we have today. And so much money is getting lost. Look at the problem even in Northeastern. You know, and, you know, I mean, you have to agree. You know, when Morara was in Northeastern and was looking at some of the alleged development, which the government and the governors are claiming to have done, there's nothing. So what are the senators doing to rein in the governors? So we're talking about devolution. They've been given so much money, but it doesn't reflect on the ground. So I come from Ugenya, you know, Siaya, you know, for the first time we had, you know, the tarmac from Mugunja coming down to Nyadorera. But right now in Ugenya, the whole, I can tell you, the whole of Ugenya constituency, there's no single bank in the whole constituency. If I want to go and the bank money, I have to go to the next constituency of Ugunja. We get our point. So these people should be telling us, you know, what is the plan? What is the plan? So I agree. You know, what is the plan and how are you going to beat President Ruto? President Ruto may have come up with some ideas, which some think are not good, but he's delivering on them. Affordable housing.
Look, for example, just the other day when the president announced that he will be proposing to the parliament to waive the pay as you earn to the bottom of the pyramid, the people earning 30,000 and below.
Yeah.
Just look at how will that turn this country. It may not have, because I've had analysts and critics talking of we are only saving 600 shillings out of it. But 600 shillings is a lot of money to the common mananchi. 600 shillings. So these are, you see, when the president is calling people to State House and wherever he's going, he's giving a scorecard.
Okay.
He's talking of we got a dilapidated economy in 2022. This is what we have done.
What are some of the realignments we are looking at as part of the game plan? Because you mentioned the name of Uhuru Kenyatta. Let's just put it. Yesterday, Deputy Governor of Kakamega, that is Ayub Savula, and the Governor, Fernandez Baraza, FCPA, also said that former President Uhuru Kenyatta should not actually lie to Kalonzo Musyoka. What are we looking at? What was the messaging, Duke? And I want to talk about that, the realignments and the coalitions that we're looking at between now and August of next year. Go ahead.
The former President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to do much. He would have done a lot when he was in power. Currently, he's trying to look for a way to survive, for their family businesses to keep on thriving and the like. So he would just be, you know, he would try and influence, because I was observing the other day the rally in Central Province that was attended by Rigiji and Matiang'i, who is the purported Jubilee flag bearer. And you know, from the optics, when you look at the ground, I only saw Matiang'i with his Deputy Secretary General in the Jubilee regalia. But the entire multitude was in DCP. They had the capes, all these materials, you know, that portray what a political party looks like. So for me, I think President Uhuru Kenyatta is placing a multi-bet. He's placing a multi-bet. He wants to see where can we survive, where are we going to get. You saw the other day Muhoho in the State House. You know, it doesn't just happen by accident. It's by design that, you know what, we are with you. If it works here, we'll be here. If it doesn't work here, we'll be on this side. But there's something I wanted to say before I forget. I want to speak to some members of parliament, including my area member of parliament of Bomachoge Brabu constituency, who I saw him yesterday in Busia with Kina Sifuna and Babu Owino. These are some of the people who've completely failed. They have done nothing on the ground, and they think they will survive with the rhetoric.
Are you saying that because you want to run for the same seat?
No. I'm not saying that because I want to
say that because you run for the same seat.
This is on the ground. You can ask.
On a scale of what?
Today, actually, go on your social media platform and ask people to tell you, to give you a report from Bomachoge Brabu constituency. This is what I mean. A few people, Sifuna and Babu Wino, might walk out with something with this arrangement. But majority, who are not even popular, who are not known. I'm sure you do you know my area member of parliament, Bomachoge Brabu constituency? Is called Obadia Barongo. Have you ever met him? Do you know him? Probably you don't, okay? So basically I'm trying to say this. As you move to the ground trying to play rhetorics, make sure that you have done something for the people. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be accountable to the people, more especially if you're holding an elective position. So for me, I would advise for the remaining 17 months, try and do something. Although I know, because this financial year is coming to an end, the remaining financial year will be too political. Everybody will be trying to see, well, how do I align myself? How do I get resources to run the campaign and the like? So if you have not done anything for the people today, no amount of rhetoric.
Thank you. Let's talk about the realignments that we are yet to see. In 1 minute, if you can, before I come to you, Daniel. What are some of the realignments we are, perhaps we'll be crossing? Okay, fine, that has worked. Cross the tick, that one, not yet. What is about to happen in the next few months until probably June?
President William Ruto is going to manage these people pretty well, and he's already doing it. Because I'm sure all of them are running, they're trying to catch the eye of William Samoei Ruto. Sifunas and the like, they want to be relevant, to be called to the table. That's what happens. And you know, presidential elections in this country are normally planned a few months to elections, maybe 4 or 5 months to elections. So you are going to see quite an, you know, and remember, every politician in this country has a prize.
Absolutely.
Including Rigiji. Including Rigiji himself. So be prepared.
Including innocent.
Yes.
Yes. So I definitely agree. A day in politics is like 1,000 years. And it's too early to say. It is too early to say. But right now, as it is, you know, we still don't have the opposition has not given us a presidential candidate, so we don't know who is going to run against William Ruto. So as it is today, William Ruto is definitely ahead, and he has all these cards to play under his, under his chest. And with regards to Nyanza politics, you know, it's very, very clear. It's very, very clear, and also as a way of some kind of gratitude, not say gratitude, but kind of respect for Raila Odinga. You know, I know that when I listen to the ground in Luo Nyanza, many of them are saying they would want to give William Ruto another term, you know, so that he can finish what he wants to do. But what is happening today with the likes of Babu, Sifuna, they may be playing, you know, for the 2032 politics. They want to position themselves, you know, for post-Ruto time. And if I were someone like Babu, Sifuna, and especially Babu, what I know is that the youth in Luo Nyanza, they would want him to work with Ruto and position himself for 2032. That is what I listen to on the ground. So if he's smart, he needs to listen to that. You know, just, you know, be where Baba left you. But of course, I'm not saying that, one of the things that I don't say, what is going on is very healthy. Because people are saying that, because you can't say that, okay, so Baba left us in broad-based and so Ruto is good on the ground. But they're saying that we are a political country. You know, so what is going on must be allowed to happen. And I must really applaud the government that, you know, yesterday there was no interference with that rally, because if there was interference, and that is what some of the people in the opposition would have wanted, if there was interference, then that would have, of course, given the opposition, you know, some momentum. But the fact that they were allowed to do their thing, it is good, and that is how we are supposed. We are a very healthy country politically, and that is how I want us to be. I don't want us to be like Uganda or Tanzania, where they don't allow politicians to even campaign. Let them do their thing, let them talk, there's freedom of whatever, there's you know, civic liberty in this country, let them do it. But when it comes to real politics on the ground, I can tell you.
Let's have the general, you know, platform here. So what are some of the movement that we are likely to see? Okay? Who is going to have coffee and tea with who? Who is going to have a meeting, late night meetings with who? What are some of the press conferences that we are likely to see moving forward? That's what I want to hear. You know that person in Loyangalani and Nyalgunga and in Kiunga, what are they expecting now moving forward? Innocent.
Yeah, from my view, it is clear, and that is the history of Kenyan politics. We are going to have a two-horse race, and definitely there will be a coalition that will coalesce around William Ruto, and another one that will coalesce, and you need to mark this.
To another person?
Most likely the former president. And
why former president?
He's a
has
man.
Got no constitutional office.
He's a man who will be running the show.
Why not Kalonzo Musyoka?
Oh, well, Kalonzo Musyoka...
Is he right now in Azimio?
Yeah, he's in Azimio, but does Kalonzo Musyoka have the gravitas to have those people coalesce around him?
Because even you'll be molded to be the president if you want to.
Yeah, but it's good to be very pragmatic. It's good to be very pragmatic. And looking at the changes we are seeing in the Azimio coalition, most of these politicians in opposition want to coalesce around that coalition. And we need to understand what will happen to Rigiji, who has constructed himself as a strong man in Mount Kenya. And now we see the possible strong entry of Uhuru Kenyatta. How are they going to interact? Will Rigiji assume a lesser position and allow Uhuru Kenyatta to be the Mount Kenya kingpin? So these are the things to watch. But basically from my desk, I want to say that we need to see a visionary Kenya, a Kenya that is likely to move forward. With this kind of politics, we are not seeing a lot of progress. We are not seeing a lot of progress. We are still playing the politics of the year. Let us have political hygiene. Look at what is happening at the IEBC. Are we likely to have election next year? It is a constitutional mandate that we should have it in August. But when the opposition are talking of we need a clean bill of health through IEBs, we need to change the register, we need to look for another software company, do we have time to do that? So these are things that we need to have a very logical and constructive conversation for us to understand where are we taking Kenya. Because with the kind of emotions we are seeing, we must have a very legitimate election. An election where we'll know a clear winner and people will accept it. So let us, as we play the politics of putting so and so against so and so, let us look at the bigger picture of uniting Kenyans and doing a progressive way of building our politics.
Okay. Duke.
Yes, Victor.
What are we likely to see? Because he's talked about two gentlemen here, and last week we heard that there's a probable handshake somewhere. Go ahead.
Now,
between that is Rigathi Gachagua former and now Uhuru Kenyatta.
For me, I'll repeat by saying this. Uhuru Kenyatta is relevant because of resources. Everybody is running to Uhuru Kenyatta for resources, not necessarily political, the political impact of power. But this is what is likely to happen. The incumbent or the president of the day, as my brother here said, it is very, very difficult to... The man to beat is the incumbent. Whether he's the president, whether he's the governor, whether he's a member of parliament. And President William Ruto has his long years on the ground. Every day he's listening to the ground. So this is what he's going to do. If he's going to realize that majority of Kenyans are listening to these young people, the likes of Sifuna and the rest, William Ruto is going to approach them and, create some sort of an agreement on how they're going to work. Because this is now about ambitions. These ambitious young people, Sifuna, Babu Owino, the likes of Simbarati, very, very ambitious. What is going to happen? There's going to be now that kind of rivalry between these young people. Everybody will want to shine or outshine the other. You will see this. Babu will want to be the one to be talked about. Sifuna will be want to be talked about. I only pity the other ones who don't have a national outlook. Simbarat is going to want to appear like he's the one who's being talked about. So President William Ruto, if he realizes that the people want the likes of Babu Owino and the party leader Oburu Odinga is not making sense, he will approach these gentlemen and tell them, come on guys, you know what? let's work on something. Because at the end of the day in politics, what you need is numbers. It doesn't matter. So be prepared of very many young people, and this is the time for young people, depending on how we are going to position ourselves. I will advise my brother Babu Wino, wherever he is, the most grievous decision that he will make is to run for governor in Nairobi County. Because these gubernatorial positions, I think they are cast. I don't know whether they are cast. I don't know what's the issue with these gubernatorial positions. We have had very many young people, very ambitious young people, who have appeared to be presidential materials, the likes of Mtula Kilonzo, the likes of Sakaja, but the gubernatorial positions have just have made them, almost moribund. They cannot be able to breathe again or create that image. So expect coalitions where there are going to be more young people, because more young people are now active.
There is something you said there. There is something you've said there. And yes. Daniel, actually, we are under 30 seconds. What I would like you to see, there's something he said there, I don't know whether to put it out right now, but that's the opinion. Very good one. Perhaps tumalizie, you are the elder here, in 1 second, 30 seconds. What are we like to, because now, when you see the faction of Sifuna, the other side of what they call the other generation in ODM, so there's a split, and he's saying something that President William Ruto is going to approach the most active group for a talk.
It's a political learning research for the president, even for him to basically see, because he's seeing everything at play. He's seeing how people are making fun of Oburu Odinga, the memes, how, he's seeing that, and he's also seeing Okechala, and you see Okechala was in Nairobi the other day with ODM t-shirts with the president and all that. So the biggest prize here for the president are the youth. And so, one of the things that we have, and I agree, is that who are going to be the ones to influence the youth? And so, either the Babus and Funas, and they're very young, they're very relevant, because what Sifuna is saying, and Babu is saying that we want the 10-point things to be done. Because that is their problem. They're saying that we cannot sit down with Ruto until the 10-point things are done. So if I was the president today, I would sit down with Babu Wino and Sifuna and say, fine, so we have the 10-point, so what can we do? This is what we have done. I think he needs to reach out to them. If I were him, I would reach out to them, sit down with them. Like you said, everyone has a prize, but these are the people he needs to have on his side. Forget about the other people are already used. They're used. People are making fun of them. And I don't see a future much.
My brother, Oburu Odinga cannot sell ODM. He cannot make it relevant on the ground.
ODM people.
He cannot.
The country.
People have changed, bro. Politics in this country has metamorphosized to a different level.
Let us not cast people based on their age. I think everybody is significant in his own way. But definitely the future is the youth. And the quicker that the youth try to organize themselves and play politics of progress, the better for us.
We all agree that there is hope for this country, right?
There is.
There is hope.
There is hope.
Thank you so much. Innocent Musumbe, political and economist by profession, is an analyst. Thank you so much for joining us. Duke Mainga, he calls himself the Duke of
Kisii.
Bomachoge
Burabu constituency, incoming member of parliament.
Allah. Allah, okay. He's a political analyst. He's also the chairman of the Commodities Fund, and finally Daniel Juma Omondi, Africa Regional Representative for the Global Peace Foundation. Gentlemen, most of you have a lot of work to do ahead of 2027. Daniel, you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a lot of work
absolutely, because the temperatures are already rising.
Yes.
My ours is to urge you guys to campaign peacefully. Do it peacefully. We don't want people to die because someone was elected president. We don't want people to die next year because you need to live beyond 2027.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, we have to wrap it up there. The three wise men, they woke up so early. Asante sana for coming. Okay.